We are very pleased to be joined now by Toby Rice, CEO of EQT Energy. And if you don't know EQT, you should. They are the largest natural gas producer in the United States. If it was its own country, it would be ranked 12th in the world in natural gas production, but not focused in Texas. They are in Pennsylvania, the Marcellus Shale, up into New York, and the entire sort of northeastern and mid-Atlantic region. Toby, really appreciate you joining us with maybe the biggest single global story going on right now. In layman's terms, and we've tried, but you're in the business, explain to us, what do you think is happening with the natural gas markets in the U.S. and particularly around the world?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. We're seeing an energy crisis in Europe and Asia. The pull on LNG to feed their markets, keep their factories open, keep their economies going, protect and provide this energy security for their public during the winters. Has reached extreme pricing levels, and that has obviously risen the price of natural gas in the United States, as evidenced by the rise in Henry Hub. And love to get into sort of what has driven this almost panic buying that we're seeing over in Europe and Asia.
Do it. That's why we have you on, Toby. I mean, and I have called it panic buying. And I guess the question maybe you can answer also is, how long might it go on? There's a lot of shorts being covered, some commodity desks probably getting blown up in Europe and Asia as well. How long do you think this will go on? And can you explain why that we need, or they need, to panic buy?
Yeah, I think first off, Brian, as an energy executive, we do not like seeing extreme prices. But the cause of this, I think, is pretty simple to understand. Traditionally, historically, we've valued energy to be reliable and low cost. And now with this modern world that we're living in, there's a new criteria, and we want energy of the future to be low cost, reliable, and green. And so what we've seen in Europe has been a transformation of their grid to prioritize the green aspects of their grid. And they've added probably more renewables in Europe than any other place in the world. Renewables make up almost 30% of their grid. And what's come from an impact of that has been a retirement of less green solutions like coal. Coal has been wound down. Their access to energy security has been cut off by lowering the amount of development that they do in the North Sea, which has traditionally been their blanket for energy security. And so what you're left with is a grid that is not as reliable as it should be. And a warm summer in China has put them in the competition for LNG. And then coupled with, less wind production as expected, Germany was down 20% wind production compared to what they estimated. Utilities in the UK are saying it's down 30%. And that's just left this country scrambling to secure the energy supplies they need. And they're currently, 20% under their 5-year average for gas storage. And so what you're seeing is two continents compete for a product to stock up and provide the reliable energy source that their people absolutely need to survive.
And some of the stuff from China, a lot of it, in fact, comes from us, Cheniere and others. We ship it. Also, Europe, they're buying U.S. LNG. The White House, you don't have to be political here, Toby, it's just a fact. The White House is talking about potentially stopping crude oil exports, potentially harming gas as well. What's the right strategy? Is there a right strategy from a political or regulatory perspective here, or let the market work?
Yeah, I think it's very simple. I think we need to understand the energy of the future, embrace that green is going to be a criteria, but the policies that we put in place have to ultimately respect a balanced approach towards all three of those criteria. We need a balance being low cost, being green, and being reliable. And one of the things, the opportunity that's in front of us today, and one of the things that we're looking at this as natural gas producers and really disappointed, because all of this situation could have been avoided. If we can unleash American shale, the United States has been able to secure energy and independence here through leveraging our shale resources, and we can do more. And all we need to do this is more LNG export facilities and more pipelines. And with those tools, then we can leverage the greatest American resource we have, which is American shale. And we can power the world and give the world the energy security that they need.
Well, the second part of that is obviously not looking so good, which is the pipeline. In fact, the analysts, they talk about your company. Morgan Stanley just raised the price target as well. But even the ones who love your company will say improving market access is the key to EQT. You've got the gas, you got the manpower, you got the facilities, you got to get it to market.
That's absolutely right. And, critics of pipeline infrastructure, I think, need to understand, when we don't have this type of infrastructure, it's not just keeping this gas from reaching places like New England. It's keeping this gas from reaching places like Europe, like Asia, where they burn, over 40% of their energy comes from electricity, where they absolutely are in dire need for this fuel source. So we need to start thinking about natural gas, not just as a domestic commodity, but as a tool and a resource to power the world. And to do that, we clearly need to have more pipeline infrastructure so we can share the benefits of American shale with the world.
How long, and we're not going to hold you to the prediction, Toby, but and thank goodness we're in America where we are going to have plenty of power this winter, knock on wood. How long do you think this energy crunch in Asia and or Europe might last?
So I think it's going to be very difficult to see a situation in Europe and Asia where they can actually stock up. I think that they're going to be stocking up regardless of whether it's a warm winter or cold winter. I think it's going to take a period of time for them to stock up. So, believe that this, pricing increase for LNG is going to persist for, well past the winter.